What's up, everybody, and welcome to On the Hop, and I'm your host, Coach Chop. Today we're at Citrus High School, and I'm here with Coach Josh Ross. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing great. How you doing today?
Doing good, brother. Now, Coach, you're going into your first year as head coach here at Citrus. Share with the viewers a little bit about yourself and some of your coaching accomplishments.
So I'm kind of on this meandering journey. Finished my high school days at Hernando High School. Decided to chase college football all over the country. Went to 3 different schools. Started at Brevard College, Harding University, and then finished my bachelor's up at Huss University. After that, got a chance to play overseas in Poland and Germany. After that, got a chance to play some arena football. And then finally got into my coaching world 2018 at West Green High School in Greenville, Tennessee.
Wow.
From there, it's just been building on that. Was able to get my master's degree, was able to do some private training stuff, got my CSCS, and all that led to getting back in the state of Florida, and I'm here now.
That's awesome, Coach. That's awesome. That's also a lot of your first year is about building trust and learning about your team.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you've learned about your team in a short period of time here at Citrus High School?
It was something I already knew through my days being at Hernando and having Citrus as a rival, but that the personality of our athletes and our program takes on the entire community. This is a community that's blue collar, that's driven, that works their tails off day in and day out. And you see that in our athletes. Even with some of the struggles they've had in the past, they show up every single day. They give you everything that they can. They're incredibly coachable. They take in everything that you give them, and they're excited to grow and to be leaders and to be great athletes and great students and great men. Absolutely. And it's been an absolute blessing to be a part of that.
Coach, I know you have a little background as far as athletic performance, and I understand that you're CSCS certified, as you said before. Can you share with the viewers a little bit about your summer preparation and what it's going to be like in the weight room this summer?
Yeah. I'm a little bit different. I'm kind of in that new age that's starting to sweep the country a little bit. Got my background in the Feed the Cat system. You're doing minimum dosage. We treat training as if it's poison. So we're doing the least amount of possible to get those maximum results. Right. So the way it feeds into our summer schedule, we're 8 to 11, Monday through Thursday. Right. We break that into 3 different sections. Based on who we've got coaching staff-wise, we break varsity and JV up. So allows our JV kids to hit the weight room first because they go through my Block Zero program. Right. We're just teaching them how to move, how to squat, hinge, push, pull, everything they need to do, not as an athlete, but as a human being. Because the overall ethos that I use in my training and the way I am as a strength coach is I look at a human being and say, what does that human being look like when they're 7 years old? Right. Are they going to be able to enjoy life, be able to enjoy retirement, enjoy their grandkids? Or are they going to be like what 50-60% of America is and not able to move and going through hospital visits and on medication and all this? Right. So at the end of the day, yes, we want to win football games. Yes, we want to be great athletes. But it's part of my duty to make sure these human beings that I'm entrusted with are going to be able to live the best version of their life. And not only by when we give them stuff through football with that, but I'm also going to use the weight room and the field to make sure they're the healthiest human being possible.
Absolutely.
And that's just one little portion. While they're in the weight room, varsity's in the classroom, we're obviously we're going over offense and defense, but even more so, we're going to go over speed training, we're going to go over agility, and we're going to get on the board, we're going to get on video. That way they see it both from themselves or some of the best, like a guy like Tony Villani or anything like that with some of the stuff they do. Right. That way they're seeing it from somebody else, not just me. And they're seeing better athletes do it as well, so they know what it's supposed to look like. Right. And then at 9 o'clock, we're all in the field. We're getting speed training. The number one emphasis in my program is our speed development. Right. Because at the end of the day, there's not an exercise that can be prescribed that attacks both strength, power, speed, the central nervous system, conditioning of that, like the sprint. Right. So we're going to base everything off developing speed and then be able to tie that into game speed. So, because we know football's played at 10 to 14 miles an hour. Right. So I need to be able to get kids to get into that range and get out of it while being under control. Right. So 9 o'clock, man, we're in there. We're working on speed development. And anytime we got left, we may work on some different stuff and try to get a little bit more sport specific if we can within the rules the state gives us.
Right.
And then at 10 o'clock we flip. Now we're going, varsity's in the weight room. They're going to be differentiated based on where they are as an athlete. I've got level 1 through level 3. So like you'll have a rack where you may have a varsity kid that is still relatively new on level 1, just trying to get base strength.
Right.
And you may have a developed athlete level 3 working on strictly power. The goal is to have some new tech tools, whether it's a plyo mat or if it's perch or something like that. That way we're able to truly objectify power output, and that way we're able to get that next maximal training we can in.
Right.
So it's controlled chaos. There's a lot going on, but we're trying to take this thing to the next level, and we're trying to do things that the absolute best in this country are doing, not just the state of Florida, not just our area, but what are the guys like Madison Academy, Alabama are doing, or Jackson, what they're doing in Georgia at Gainesville High School.
Right.
Great buddy of mine, Nate Mathis, is over there doing some of the best stuff in the country. How do we get to that level?
Right.
And because at the end of the day, like anytime we just set our goals at this one little area, we're limiting what our athletes can do as human beings.
Right.
We're limiting on what their outlook on their life is going to be. I want to be the absolute very best in this entire country, not just our area. So we're going to do everything we can to get our athletes in that position.
Right. Because I feel you. When I look in your eyes, I can feel, I can only imagine how your athletes feel when you look them in the eyes and you let them know, what your expectation is. And I like that you're throwing in that football IQ aspect of it in. It's not just grind and speed training. That's what most high schools are doing around the country and strength training. But you're also adding the football IQ. So I think that's going to really benefit these kids immensely.
The brain is so important. Like the days of just giving like a straight program and forcing kids to spoon feed every single bit of that and push them through that, we can't do that anymore. Right. Our kids are too aware of everything. We got to have them understand the why behind everything we're doing.
Right.
And if we get to understand the why, it's going to bleed into everything else. Now we're building a better academic individual.
Right.
We're building a better husband, better father, because they're gaining the tools to improve every aspect of their life, not just be great on Friday nights in the fall.
Right.
Yes, we want to win. Yes, that is why I'm here. I love this. I love to compete. I love this game. But at the end of the day, my job is to truly develop the best human being I possibly can through every avenue I have.
Right. That's awesome, Coach. I tell you, they're lucky to have you. Because a lot of coaches, they'll get their kids, they'll juice them and they'll throw them away. They'll squeeze all the juice they got out of these kids, and they'll kind of discard them. But I like how you're not just worried about them and the 4 years that you have them, but you're also preparing them for to be husbands and bosses and and fathers and things of that nature.
No, we want that team to be able to be juiced their entire life and be able to give back to others.
I love it, Coach. So, Coach, you and I both have traveled similar paths in our coaching journey, and that stretches all the way back to Greenville, Tennessee. Can you share with the viewers how that journey has molded you to be like the head coach that you are today?
Hey, them Tuscan University days. Well, it's Tuscan University now. It was Tuscan College when we were there every day.
Absolutely.
Man, I can honestly say that football had saved my life. I did meet my wife back in high school. It was football and her that truly set me on the path. But there's no words I can describe the kind of impact she had on my life. So we'll talk about football today.
Right.
It gave me the structure. It gave me something to fight for. It gave me something to strive to be the absolute best that I can be. And by doing that, it developed some skills that I was able to use in my entire life when trying to handle adversity, handle different situations, and continue to grow in this life. Because we know life now is tougher than it was 30, 40 years ago.
Absolutely.
There's too many things going on now that our elders didn't have to deal with.
Right.
So being able to go through that and understand that, I did transfer 2 times trying to chase the game, but I was also trying to chase the best situation for me.
Right.
And that definitely applies to what we're dealing with today with kids wanting to leave and everything. It's up to me to use that experience to build the kind of place they want to stay.
Right.
Because they deserve that. Like you look around at some of the schools in the area and in the country, they're places that kids don't want to be.
Right.
They walk in, their heads are down. There's nothing to inspire them. So how do I use this program to create a space of inspiration?
Right.
So using my experience in places I've been, the places I liked and I didn't like, to help formulate a place that they want to be. And then on top of that, some of the coaches I got to be around. Frankie DeBusted was a great coach over at Tuscaloosa.
Absolutely.
I got to learn from in the strength side. I got to learn from a guy named Tim Tobin, who's a part of the Joe Ken tree. He's the one that introduced me to the tier system that Joe Ken has revolutionized the entire strength conditioning world.
Like this video, be sure to subscribe for more content.
He was the real reason why that I decided to chase after CSCS and to be a strength coach at 3 different high schools before I even took this job.
Right.
So going through that winding journey, going overseas, I got to teach a game of football that's not the native sport to individuals that most of them can't speak the language.
Right.
And to be able to be successful and have the kind of seasons that we did over there, dealing with that barrier made me 15 times better the coach than I could have ever been, because now you're finding different ways to communicate with other athletes, and not just through verbal. You're going to have to do things through your mannerisms, through physical interaction with video, and having to do that with a language barrier makes you get pretty creative.
Right.
So going on this meandering journey, going through these different experiences truly shaped me into this unique, I know it kind of sounds self-serving a little bit, but I'm unique in what I can provide because I have a different experience path than most people do.
Right.
I have my strength conditioning background, my sport performance background. I've been overseas, so I understand that whole different society, that whole different type of lifestyle, I think what we have in the United States. And I've been in different parts of the country with football. So I have this unique melting pot to bring something special to Citrus High School.
So, Coach, as you and I both know, Citrus High School has had many great coaches here. The school has a great history and a great tradition. What do you want your legacy to be here at Citrus High School?
I want my legacy to be, at the end of the day, Coach Ross cared. I want to win. Every coach comes in there, they want to win. But at the end of the day, what I gain more value out of than anything else is when I get a phone call from a kid like Alec Daughtery or Kenton Cobble or some of my guys back at North Green High School, and they call me because they're having success now. That's what really fires me up. Because I haven't coached Alec or Kenton in almost 6-7 years now. Right. And to see them succeed, and I'm not going to actually take credit for it, but they credit me with some of the success they had, which warms my heart. Right. And I want to be able to provide that same kind of moment for the athletes I have here. Right. Hopefully to an even more greater extent, because now I have a much more deep-rooted access to this because of the position I'm in now. Right. I want my legacy to be, this is a place of growth, that this can be the kind of launch pad that every football program should be to adulthood for these athletes. Right. Because like we said, life is hard. There's a lot of challenges they're going to have to face in this world that they shouldn't have to. Right. But they're going to. So how are they going to handle that adversity? I want them to be prepared for that by the time they leave here their senior year, and use this as a vessel for that. I'm not saying we have all the answers. I'm not saying that I can give everything, but I want this to be a positive influence on that. At the end of the day, I want my legacy to be the Coach Ross cares. Right.
I think you're going to accomplish that, Coach. So, Coach, let's talk about some of your key returners. What can the Hurricane fans expect from the team this season?
Honestly, I think, and I'm just going from the outside looking in, I don't think many people expect much out of this team. We all know the history. We all know what's happened the last few years. And that happened, there's a ton of extenuating circumstances that I had there that my predecessor had to go through that I would never wish on anybody else. For what he had to do with, Coach Franklin did an amazing job in this place. Right. There's a reason why I'm going to be able to do the things I'm going to be able to do here, because of the stuff that he did before me. Right. And it just so happens I come in now to benefit what he built beforehand. But with that being said, I think there's a chance to do something pretty special here. There's some talent in this building. There's some talented athletes that are still here. We've had some leave. It's just how it is. We've had 5 or 6 athletes decide to leave for whatever reason. It is what it is. I wish them nothing but success. I'm always in their corner. I will always be there if they need me. Right. But at the end of the day, there's some kids in this building right now that can play some football. Absolutely. And there's some kids here that love this game, that put the work in, that work in day and day out, and they're going to be able to have 3 things that are going to make them deadly. They have talent. They are learning how to pay attention to the details, and they come in with a relentless effort day in and day out. Those things right there can make a deadly athlete. Absolutely. And we've got enough of those guys in this building to be able to do something now. Right. We're not just building a foundation and waiting 2-3 years. We're trying to do something now. We do have a tough schedule. We do got some quality teams. When we added Williston to the schedule. Williston's one of the top teams at their level, if not one of the top teams in the entire state.
Right.
There's some talent up there, and Coach Pruitt does some amazing things up there. Yes, Springstead is great. Westport's always got talent.
Right.
Lecanto's going to be pretty good. I mean, that's the forbidden name over here.
Right.
But hey, at the end of the day, we're going to give them what credit's due. There's some talent over there.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be honest, they've been left with some pretty good stuff. Coach over there did a pretty awesome job over there.
Yeah, I know that guy.
I had to learn it firsthand. They knocked me out of the playoffs last year. I'm still a little bit hurt about that, Coach Chow. Still hurt about that. But we play a pretty tough schedule, so we're going to be challenged. But with the way the attitude is right now, and the leadership that's in that room, and the guys that have bought in, have absolutely bought in.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, with what I saw today, our numbers may not be what it needs to be, but the quality is there.
Right.
And the effort's there, the intent's there, the focus is there. So we're not holding back. We're going after it 100% this year right now.
Right. But Coach, just kind of going off the cuff a little bit. This is one of my favorite high schools in the area, and I have to say that because I actually graduated here from Citrus High School, and had success here as a player, had success here as a coach, and so I've seen the type of kid that kind of grows up in this area. It's all obviously they're going to be tough. They're going to have that grit. We might not have like world-class speed or nothing like that, but given the right system, there has been teams that have thrived here. That can. So I do think that you really are putting the right things in place for you to be able to thrive as well.
And I mean, I'm from the one town south. I don't know how they feel about me saying Brooksville over here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm from right there, so I understand like this is the same kind of kid, and they're like. You may not think there's elite speed coming out here, but the potential for elite speed is here.
Right.
It's just making sure they're in the right program to develop the way they deserve to be developed. Like we've got a kid right now, Cam Blackburn, that could be lights out.
Right.
And he's got that kind of potential. He really does. And there's more of him coming down the pipeline as well.
Right.
And that's the end. Like my goal is to be able to provide this program here to be where it should be at all times. This Citrus High School and Inverness, the community itself, should be a place that is year in and year out someone to be dealt with.
Right.
Because everything is here. The framework, the community support, those in power here at the high school, everything is there if everything aligns the way it's supposed to build something that stays year in and year out.
Right. Because I'm a believer. I believe that. So this is your opportunity to kind of promote any fundraisers that you may have this summer. Give them how they can support your program and and what they can do to help out the school.
So the one big fundraiser we've got a combo car wash / dinner that we're putting together on June 24th. I'm sorry, June 24th. That's gonna be a partnership. We're gonna do obviously wash your car. We're gonna provide some great food. But the bigger thing about that is it's gonna give us some visibility into our program. You're gonna see the kids work. You're gonna see everything and that. But the end goal is to understand what we're trying to build for. So the number one thing that we're trying to build for is we're trying to renovate our weight room. And we want to go through a company called PLA. Yes, a unshameful promotion for these guys.
I like it.
They're one of the best organizations in the entire country. They just did University of Florida, their football rooms. They did Arizona State's hockey weight room. They've also done Toronto Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox. So we obviously, if we're going to invite them to try and help our room, we're putting ourselves with the absolute best this country has to offer.
Right.
So any way you can help support us with that would be greatly appreciated. We've got some amazing people that are working on the background. Really and truly, it just comes down to creating partnerships, creating more connection. We bring this entire community together and get that room for them, because it doesn't just benefit football. That benefits the entire student body, because now every sport can use it.
Right.
Our Gen Pop, I call them Gen Pop because I know it's probably not the best term. But that's our students that don't participate in sports,
Right.
still deserve a chance to be healthy. Because again, at the end of the day, we want to create healthy human beings, and we want to be able to enjoy their entire lives no matter what path they decide to choose.
Right.
And we want this entire campus, not just football, but we want Citrus High School to be the place that does that for this community. And starting with a weight room like that, and I have access to those renderings, to those plans. If anybody has a question about it, they can reach out. It's available. We've got 3 games that are open for game day sponsorship. Like we have the Hernando game already spoken for,
Right.
but it's spoken for Athletic Industries. So the entire game, it's going to be sponsored by Athletic Industries, so they get special social media presence They also get this at quarters or wherever breaks. This game is sponsored by Leadington Industries.
Right.
So there's a chance to get your business name out there. We also have a first down sponsor available. So every time we get a first down at Citrus High School, it is, let's say, that is the Coach Chop first down.
Right.
So there's plenty of opportunities to get your business name out there and then partner with Citrus High School so both programs can flourish.
Cool. That's awesome. That's a great idea too, to be able to do that in every first down. So you're making money all through the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I like that, Coach. Well, Coach, it's always cool to come around and chop it up with you. And I'm asking all of Hurricane Nation to come out and fill out the stands. Guys, I want to see 4,000 or 5,000 people in those stands. Who do y'all have home this year? You have Chris River or Lecanto home?
We got Lecanto home.
Lecanto home this year, so we can get about 5,000 to 6,000. I think that'd be good.
It would be.
Your first year. I think that'd be a lot of energy that game.
Yep.
So like I say, come on out and fill those stands up and support Citrus Hurricane. And like always, guys, we thank you for being a part of our podcast. And we'll catch you guys on the flip.
We want you to be a part of this incredible journey. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. When you subscribe, you'll be the first to know about new episodes, game recaps, and inspiring stories.